Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Thursday and we've got some stuff to talk about. We've got to talk about Supergirl and all of the exciting things happening over at DCU and why I think this could be the beginning of something great. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so we've got to talk today about all the great things coming out of the DCU, because I know a lot of people claim that the fandom is split. You're hearing all these YouTubers claim the fandom is split. They're saying things like restore the Snyderverse. Okay, that's fine, except that it's not going to happen. And we as DC fans have to move on with our lives. I love the Snyderverse. Now, there are a lot of things with it that I completely disagreed with, and I will openly admit that. There are a lot of things, however, with it that I absolutely loved. And the fact that I love the Snyderverse is why I continue to talk about it, because if you know me at all, you know that on this channel, if I don't like something at all and have nothing nice to say about it, I'm just going to leave it out of my mouth. I'm not going to talk about it. And that's that. So if I am talking about it, you know that I am excited about it, or I actually like the project. Now, in terms of the DCU, it has started off relatively quiet with the Creature Commandos that I loved. The Creature Commandos was a great project to start this all off with. And I think that it was necessary. A lot of people are saying it's not the real start of the DCU. Even John Campea had gone on record as saying it wasn't the true start of the DCU. However, he's only partially right, because when you look at it, yes, it is the start of the DCU. They just started it off a little bit quieter. Remember, this is chapter 1 of their stuff. Instead of doing phase 1, phase 2 like Marvel, we're getting chapters in the DCU. And these chapters are going to be important. This chapter of DCU, chapter 1, is Gods and Monsters. So, of course, we've met the monsters, and now we are in the year of Superman. We are in the year that we are getting the new James Gunn Superman, and I couldn't be more excited because I know that James Gunn is a fan of the character. Zack Snyder changed a whole lot about the DC universe. He really did. And some of it was good change that I welcomed and I was okay with, because each new incarnation doesn't have to remain the same as the previous one. There is room for multiple takes on these characters. Otherwise, how would we have so many Batman movies? And with us being in the year that Superman is coming out, it looks like the DCU is finally off to a good start, because for a while, people were really concerned about how long it was taking. Why didn't we get these previews? But that takes time. That takes a little bit of time. And now we not only have that project, but Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, has begun to film in the UK. And this is some exciting news, because this is what comicbookmovie.com had to say about the DCU and all the exciting things that it has planned. Comicbookmovie.com put out an article. DCU updates reveal plans for Lobo after Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Sergeant Rock, Waller, production start dates. Okay. So this is exciting because that tells us there's more than one project coming out. And that's good. So it says, we have some exciting DCU updates to share with you today, including the plans for Lobo beyond Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and just what's happening with the upcoming projects, Waller and Sergeant Rock. Okay, so then it goes on to tell us what I just kind of recapped for you, that a lot of people don't think that the DCU has taken shape as quickly as they would have liked. It says that the Hollywood strikes of 2023 didn't help with that. But now Woman of Tomorrow, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, has started filming in the UK. Peacemaker Season 2 also hits Max later this year, and cameras are expected to roll on the Lanterns show any month now. Now that's good because this is exciting because they told us in the beginning that we were going to get both TV shows and movies, with Safran running the TV side and James Gunn running the movie side. But they're talking to each other and they're all going to coincide. Now, they said that each movie is going to feel like its own thing, and I truly believe that's going to be the truth. However, it's good to know that they are collaborating together to give us this first chapter, this amazing first chapter of everything. It says, so here's what we have to look forward to, essentially, according to Daniel Rickman. That's Daniel RPK. And he's pretty good at knowing a lot of stuff about the movie industry. He's wrong sometimes, but there's a lot of times he's actually right. It says the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow script is so good that the boss, James Gunn, and they always leave out Peter Safran in this narrative, which kind of annoys me, is eager to get writer Anna Nagara, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced that name, I probably did, involved in multiple DCU projects. Now, that's good news because if they have faith in this writer and they want this writer to continue, you will often find in Hollywood that writers and actors and directors oftentimes work with the same people. This is not an accident. A lot of people will use Tim Burton. They will say that Tim Burton only works with the same actors. Well, this is not just him. This is everyone across the board. You could go down the IMDb page of any of your favorite directors, look at the projects they've done, and look at the actors involved, and you're going to find several names that are involved in the same projects with the same people over and over again, because you work with the people you like, whether that's directors, writers, producers, actors, all of that. It's important that you work with people you're comfortable with. So if they are already comfortable with her and they have that much faith in her script, that is very good news. It goes on to say, you may recall she was attached to write Supergirl, which was meant to be a spin-off of the events from the Flash movie with Sasha Calle. And I'm sorry again if I mispronounced her name. And she was going to be the star. The project was scrapped, but she has clearly been impressing DC executives for a while now. And this is also very good. If they brought her over from what they were going to be doing with that, then that is a telltale sign. And that's once again something that people get wrong. They say that James Gunn isn't hiring back the people that were involved in the other projects, that Zack Snyder would never work with the DCU. You forget that Zack Snyder and James Gunn are friends. They may not be the closest friends. They may not go out to lunch together. I don't know. But they have worked together before, and they worked together quite well. The Dawn of the Dead movie was amazing, and James Gunn wrote it. And of course, Zack Snyder did the most amazing job possible of directing that movie. And it was great. It says that Jason Momoa's Lobo, while he's only expected to play a small part in the Maiden of Might's movie, the door is open for him to get his own DC project down the line. The only minor updates include the fact that Max's Waller TV series starring Viola Davis and Daniel Craig's Sergeant Rock movie will both begin filming later this year. As expected, they are certainly going to be about DC Studios' 2026-2027 offerings alongside Clayface and the Batman 2. Then it goes on to tell you something we've told you in previous videos, how much Jason Momoa really loves the character of Lobo and how excited he is about coming back. And then it says, as far as Sergeant Rock, no one can quite believe that DC Studios talked to the people involved to reteam on a World War II story we have to believe will be heightened in some way to fit better into the DCU. Gunn has made no secret about the fact that not everything will connect, so it's a likely standalone tell about the fan favorite hero who we recently met in an episode of Creature Commandos. And that's right, we met him in an episode of Creature Commandos, so we know there's a story out there to be told. And I think that's an interesting thing. James Gunn has said that these characters will come back in live action with the people who voiced them playing these characters when it's able to happen that way. And with it being G.I. Robot's episode of Creature Commandos where we got to meet Sergeant Rock, I believe that we will see the first live action appearance of that character in that movie. And that will be great as well. Now, really, that's all the news that they had about things, but that is very telling because if you look at this and really take a look at this, this is on par with what Marvel has been doing for years. Marvel has put out a Marvel movie about every year for a long time. And sure, it took a minute for the DCU to get built up. But the DCU failed to do what it was supposed to do. It failed to actually become the DC version of the MCU. So enter James Gunn, who you can say what you want about him, but he does good work. He knows how to write ensemble pieces. He knows how to write for characters in really cool, unique ways while staying true to the source material. And people will bring up Guardians of the Galaxy not being anything like the comic books. But James Gunn redefined the Guardians of the Galaxy. After the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, which was a team that no one knew, the team in the comics actually became the team that James Gunn had built. And why? Because that was the team everybody now wanted. Everybody knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy was. So taking some obscure characters like Sergeant Rock, who shouldn't really be that obscure to a lot of people, but you're going to hear the narrative probably that he is from other places saying, why do we have to have this movie? Taking a character like that and bringing them back into the fold is something that is going to excite fans. To know that, hey, this project is connected in a minor way to this, but they're not all connected. This is a standalone story in a way, but does it connect to the bigger picture? It probably does. And when you have TV show possibilities, movie possibilities, and you're building this big universe, the only risk you really take is that you are going to maybe isolate fans that don't have Max, that don't have access to the TV shows. That's really your biggest challenge. So getting things out there and kind of letting people know, hey, you don't have to have seen this project to watch this movie isn't necessarily going to be bad. I hope that that's what they do, kind of maintain that as a thing where you don't have to have watched everything. Because in Marvel, it seems like if you don't watch everything, sometimes it seems like you missed out. If you haven't seen every single MCU project, it seems like you missed out. Now, I enjoy the MCU, and I've watched every single thing that's come out from it. But if you haven't, there's a possibility you feel lost at some points. Wait, when did this happen? How did this happen? What's going on here? And if you can create a DCU where that's not necessarily the thing, then that's going to be great. But it's exciting to know that now the slate is full. We have all of these projects coming out for 2025, 2026, and 2027. We know what we're getting from the DCU because we know what they have planned. From the Lobo being possibly in his own movie, to the Waller series being done, to the Sergeant Rock movie being made, to Peacemaker Season 2, telling us exactly how that's going to be canon. All of this stuff is great news. But that is where I'm going to leave it off to you guys. I just wanted to come in and talk to you about all this exciting stuff that's come out and what exciting new things we can possibly talk about in the future. What is your thing that you're most excited about that you've heard happening with the DCU so far? All right, everybody. We want to hear from you guys. So make sure you are leaving us that comment in the comment box below, letting us know what you think. Also, don't forget to share this video with all of your friends. They're going to want to be a part of this crazy conversation we're having. And then make sure you hit that like button. It's free. It helps the channel. And we really do appreciate it. Then Miko says we need more subscribers. And look at this face. You don't want to disappoint Miko. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell while you're down there so you don't miss a single video we do. And then friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.